So the Astral Academy's mystical spell parchments were scattered into the faraway corners of the world. In all this chaos, however, the clever young students saw an opportunity for some illicit hands-on studying. All they had to do was to go out and collect spells until they had all their 9 parchments.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
I wish to find parchments to complete my spell book. Cornelius of House Purchased Title is tagging along.
It is not purchased. House Crownsteed has been here since the early days of the kingdom. So, how is aristocracy better in Alcyon than in the kingdom?
What a preposterous thought. We're ruled by majestic trees.
Ah, so one kind of lunacy is better than the other. These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Those hogs especially. What the heck is going on?
Maybe there's some sort of rational explanation for all of it.
Treocracy sounds insane, but I'd like to hear more.
We venerate our elders, and there's nothing older than the trees of Alcyon.
Sounds like I should visit Alcyon sometime.
Ow!
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Yes, it's an interesting place, certainly, if nothing else.
There are rumours about a student who lives locked up in an underground dungeon.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
They're probably fleeing. Hopefully their cattle hasn't been exposed to the magical waste.
Keeping cattle. How uncivilized.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
We shouldn't keep our pace too rigorous, lest our elder companion here falls behind.
Oh, sorry. You're kind to take care of us all, Gizlan. Gizlan, after this is over, I want to come visit Alcyon with Marvek.
Marvellous! Let's make a class trip of it.
Well, let's see if we make it out of here alive first.
Who is this?
Well, you're not from our study group, are you?
No, my studies are private. But these missing spell parchments, can we share?
Well, come along then, private schoolboy.
Perhaps it would be more courteous of me to leave you two alone.
What? Why? For what reason? I hardly know this cleaner.
But I thought... My apologies. I've misunderstood something.
That is so odd. You're not the first to say that.
You had a dream with the maze and peacocks. An odd coincidence, since that describes my home.
Oh, that explains it. I had a dream about your future, not mine. I sometimes get glimpses of the future.
So, I'll get to go back home soon.
Oh, if I could go back home soon too. Seems we have something in common.
Can you see everyone's future?
It's hard to say, since I can't define which vision belongs to who. And it's rarely accurate. More like a possibility. Like the other year, I had a dream of someone falling in love with me at the academy. And that never happened.
My time at the Astral Academy would have been much better if I'd been able to take classes with the other students.
Too bad about your strange condition that makes you a dungeon hermit. Is it a disease? A bad rash?
It's, magical in nature.
Wait, I sense... a sinister premonition. A dark shadow. It's near. Very near.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Celius, what's inside you?
What? Did you just say something? My mind was wandering.
Celius, you should leave Gizlan be after we complete our spellbook. I don't trust you.
I'm afraid Nim's right to be suspicious. I sense something quite wrong with you.
You don't need to worry. I'll be gone as soon as we're done.
Nim, I'm surprised you've become so talkative towards the end of this journey.
I dislike talking without good reason to.
very sensible attitude. Most people prattle on about silly nothings. It gives me a headache.
And now back to the academy, so I can leave you two prattling in peace.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Isn't it obvious? Searching for the missing parchments.
We have aspirations beyond being told off in class.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
Another undead wizard?
The Academy seems to have an endless supply of those.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Not unknown. The arcane repository.
It exploded along with the library. The harmful magical waste got released, all of it.
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
There's edible greens here.
No way I'm eating anything that grows here. If the animals have been affected, maybe the plants are as well.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
It is an arcane centre point after all.
I think we're safer here than within the Academy walls.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Fleeing. They should have worked together to stop the invasion.
And stops them with what?
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
Yes, we're not dead yet.
Just follow my lead and we shall have the final parchment in no time.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
It involves baby seals.
Marvek, you know the ritual. It allows us to keep these newly acquired spells indefinitely. And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
I saw you leaving and decided to follow. I hope you don't mind.
I'm coming too.
I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
The library wall crumbled like an eggshell.
Needs a lot of cleaning, which I should be doing in all honesty.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
Oh, there is so much to see and do. It's easy to lose focus, but I'll try my best, Carabelle.
Pleasure is meaningless, life is pain.
That fight we were in just now, that was thrilling.
Did you learn anything from it?
Is becoming a Frost Lord your new career path?
I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
Please stop reminding me of the mess.
I'll keep your chin up, Nim. But once we have all the spells, you don't have to clean anymore.
I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime.
That's very small-minded.
No need to be so humble, Carabelle. You'll probably see hundreds of parchments. Being so determined.
Only one parchment missing!
Just let's not lose our heads now and start throwing fireballs willy-nilly.
I can't wait to see the final spell attached to my spellbook.
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
I know it involves a master seal and a spell.
Then back to the Astral Academy. Let's see this to the bitter end.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Parchment things.
Owl is sure a joint effort is needed to collect spells.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
Owl was not present in the library when the blast happened. Maybe a stray spell?
Or an assailant.
What was going on with those boars? They seem to be just as crazed as the other animals.
It's not self-inflicted madness.
Magical waste got out when the big boom happened. Owl is certain it's driving the animals bonkers.
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
Owl is eager to try some road trip food, like radishes, popcorn and crickets.
I'll pass. Except the radishes.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Owl is not sure if it is wise to pack so much wild magic into one place.
Not to mention inside the arcane repository.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Inside monsters' bellies, or fled.
Owl would run, hide, and tremble like a scared owlet too if it was defenseless.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
There are so many spells. Owl is wondering, should some be taken to the other students as gifts?
You think they deserve them?
What was this ritual of sealing again?
A manner of spell preservation.
If Owl wants to keep using the new spells, an Academy Master must seal them first.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Hunting for our 9 Parchments for our own wicked purposes, of course.
Or something like that.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the Academy?
Something evil and nasty. What a fine thing it was for us.
Our truancy will probably go unnoticed.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Hardly unknown. The something or other was destroyed at the Academy and it bled chaos everywhere.
The arcane repository. That's what exploded.
It is good to be rid of the Academy, but I do miss the free meals.
But I find hunting so refreshing after all those ready-made dinners.
I just hope we don't die of malnutrition.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Chaos. That's the nature of magic.
I myself don't mind a little chaos. It makes things interesting.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Maybe they were eaten by giant snakes.
True. There's no one around.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
You presume now to be our leader?
In that case, I vote for anarchy.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
Never mind that, my memory-challenged friend. Just follow us and we'll take you there.
Back to the Astral Academy.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
Why? Why should you go alone when you can have merry company?
And Cornelius as well.
I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
We were lucky we weren't crushed under the rubble.
You two worry about these things too much. The wizards will repair everything in good time.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
But it's not fair. We are here searching for the spells and the wizards of the academy aren't.
The wizards must be pretty occupied with whatever made the explosion, so lucky us.
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
It's strange that such a thing even exists.
There are far stranger things in these kingdoms than a container full of magic gone bad.
I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
And they won't notice us getting those parchments, which we will keep for us.
I'm not sure if it's wise to underestimate them. What if the academy wizards are observing us and all this is just some kind of test?
That implies some level of deviousness I'm not committed to believe they would have.
And even if that was the case, we've proven our skills enough times to pass any test.
Some of these new spells are really hard to master.
I agree, we need to blow each other up for more practice.
Keep your spells aimed at the enemy, you scoundrel. Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
Don't only masters know how to do that?
It'll be easy. We'll only need to borrow the Master's seal, and we're as good as done.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
The early owl catches the worm.
Marvick and Owl, you have enough nonsense between the two of you to make almost one rational person.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
I'm guessing it was a fire wizard. Maybe it was you, Marvick, all along?
The fire wizard certainly does have a long history with unintended explosions.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Perhaps they've had too much coffee.
It's possible. Owl tried coffee once and the belches tasted funny for weeks.
What was that creature? A bird of some kind?
A relative of yours, Owl?
Owl would be thrilled to meet a brother or sister, but maybe one who wouldn't take sibling rivalry that far.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Does that make Owl and the rest of this flock troublemakers as well?
No, we're merely opportunistic nuisances.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
As long as we don't stumble across their half-eaten corpses, I wouldn't be too worried.
It's rude to leave food on your plate, though Owl is unsure if monsters care about manners or plates.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
I'm not fond of marching. It's a tad too tedious. I do like a good waltz, or a saltarello.
Rudolphus must teach Owl more of this saltarello, especially if it's food.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
Again, you literally brought it up only just now.
Forgetful old wizard must not worry. Owl knows what to do.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
Owl would like to offer its services to this effort to find the 9 Parchments.
So, together then? Well, that mantis fell a long way.
Since Owl is quite certain the undersea maggot has no wings, it's probably gone.
Gone for good, I'd say. I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
Owl hasn't made any kinds of trips before, so it has no idea how much pleasure should be involved.
Maybe better to keep this journey strictly business, all right?
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
First, Owl thought the carcass-smelling building was the cafeteria. Later, Owl learned it was magic waste storage.
The hostile animals have probably been exposed to the fumes of corrupting magic.
I doubt anyone at the Academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
Are they going to punish us?
Owl would like to know how they suspend already absent students.
Beautiful places like this make the soul drift away.
Owl is not about to let its soul go anywhere without the rest of Owl.
This is not the time or place for rambling. Keep your guard up, both of you. Only 1 parchment missing.
Owl is proud like a peacock.
You're not the only one feathered, buddy. Soon we can return to the Academy.
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
Owl has not participated in any such rituals. What is it?
It allows us to keep the spells.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
And let our fragile Miss Snowflake embark on a perilous journey alone.
Owl is not sure if the Ice Lady should be called fragile. She's the Academy's arm wrestling champion.
I was sure the whole Academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
Such dramatic interpretations.
Owl likes drama, and also causing it. So much interesting feedback.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
Yes, we very seriously adopt these spells to our spell books without letting the Academy know about it.
Owl is terrible at keeping secrets. Maybe Owl should stay silent in the back when the flock returns to school?
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
But how boring our quest would have been if it hadn't. Then we'd just be walking from one parchment to another.
It would have given Owl time to explore and try new things, like sunbathing and ploughing.
I doubt anyone at the Academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
These senior wizards tend to be wrapped up in their own little worlds.
Owl is hopeful. Maybe the giant hole in the wall is fixed so everyone doesn't catch a cold.
I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime.
Oh, Carabelle, you snowflake, your ambitions are too small for your heart.
Owl has big ambitions and a big heart, and a big spell book for the rest of the parchments. Owl doesn't like the dark corners. Maybe Carabelle walks first?
What an excellent idea. Good Owl. Ladies first.
Such bravery. You want me to hold your hand as well? Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
No, but Owl is not ready to part with its spells. They need to be sealed.
And its spells it shall have.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
And here I thought we would have a warmer greeting, but... oh well.
The parchments. Let's look for them.
I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
The architecture is structurally stronger than what it appears.
Despite the hole punched in the wall.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
I disagree.
I also disagree, but I will remember not to keep your opinions in mind for future reference.
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
It's made a bit of a mess.
Let's think happier thoughts, such as our near-complete spellbooks.
I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
Miss Perfect Score here has never played truant before, isn't that so?
Even perfect attendance hasn't earned her a new spell.
I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime.
How wonderful to hear you have so few aspirations in your life.
Well, we've still got some parchments to find, so let's get to it.
Only one parchment missing!
And soon we'll all go our separate ways, a happy end.
Makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
Last I saw it done, I made notes.
We might have to muddle along, but there's a chance we'll succeed.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Do you remember what you are doing here?
It's not important. What matters is he's here and ready to go. So am I.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
A sinister lich, driven mad by a thirst for power and death magic.
How do you know that? Did you manage to get an interview for the school paper?
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Let's not think about such things. We won't find our parchments dwelling on sad thoughts about enchanted hogs.
It's hard not to be deeply troubled when you encounter these monsters constantly.
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
My stomach is growling with hunger. Is anything here edible?
You could have frozen some food before you left, and then let Marvick eat it up for you on the way.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
I beg to disagree. That one time the goblins attacked, they didn't even bother with the academy.
True, but the academy wizards weren't actually there to help either.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Well, there haven't been any bodies yet. They've probably escaped.
Or they were eaten entirely. Just a possibility.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
Trotting is more fun than marching.
Marching, trotting, parading, crawling. No matter how, we'll cross the finish line soon.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
The Master's Seal and the accompanying ritual are needed if we don't want to say goodbye to these spells.
Nah, don't worry about it. We'll wing it.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
Alone? That's a death wish.
No reason to go on your own, Clarabelle. Let Owl and the others join the hunt.
I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
The towers might be weak, but the foundations aren't.
Owl is sure everything will be repaired by the time this block returns.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
Owl is curious. What is a pleasure trip?
What the journey back home will be.
That thing just now, that was amazing.
Feeling inspired now, are we?
Owl cannot wait for the Ice Lady to become an end boss.
I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
Owl is not sure if vigilance is the wizard's strongest suit.
Lucky for us.
I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime.
Owl is hoping to see many, many, many more.
I'd rather we just get all 9 and retreat immediately after that.
Only one parchment missing.
That's no reason to throw caution to the wind. Stay on your toes.
Owl thinks everything's gone all righty-roo so far, except for a few accidents between friends.
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
No, of course not. Not without spell parchments and the seal.
Owl believes all that is needed are the proper words and the Master's seal.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
Likewise.
Owl suggests sneaking off and experiencing all the deadly hardships together.
I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
You do enjoy jumping to conclusions.
Owl enjoys jumping too, especially jumping rope. Owl is very flexible.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
Owl is unsure if it's necessary to return all the spells. Maybe only the boring ones could be given back.
Boring spells? You just lack imagination.
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
I hope the wizards learn not to pile up magic waste in the future.
Owl has an idea. Maybe magical waste should not be stored away, but be put to good use. Maybe as manure.
I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
Owl thinks big brooms are needed, and lots of bricks and plaster, and a better evacuation plan.
How about magical lanterns that glow with green lights pointing to the nearest exits?
I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime.
Owl and the rest have already seen thousands of parchments in the library. These are no different.
Owl, spell parchments are no ordinary pieces of paper.
Owl would like to know, what would Healer Witch and Ice Lady do without magic talents?
I'd probably pursue a career in politics.
I'd like to travel, see the world more, collect seeds from interesting plants.
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
Owl thought only the Masters are allowed to touch the seal. Is it so?
We're about to find out.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own.
And miss our excellent company, Snowflake.
We won't get in your way, if you don't get in ours.
I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
They're used to things falling apart. I wouldn't be too concerned.
I'm more concerned about the parchments.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
You don't fool us, Snowflake. You want them for yourself just as badly as we do.
It's not always an evil thing to take charge of a situation.
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
And all that toxic magic waste ended up where the parchments did.
Blown off to the same places by the same winds.
I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
Our venerable instructors often seem more wrapped up in their own business than noticing us.
And how excellent that today that is a good thing.
I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime.
What a small thinking mind you possess, Snowflake.
I hope your lack of aspirations won't hold us back.
Only one parchment missing!
That's the spirit. We prowl, we pounce, we win.
Pouncing is not very elegant, though.
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before?
It'll be easy. I copied the Master's spell, word for word, last time he did my book.
The borrowing of his seal is my only cause for concern.
The Nine Parchments. It's what we're here for, correct?
Yes, little mouse. You and the rust bucket will do nicely for my non-nefarious purposes.
Owl is not rusty. Well, there's that one spot underneath the armpit. You want to see?
We are collecting the spells for ourselves, right? To finish our spell books and be done with the academy?
My, the corny little mouse is not so mousy after all.
Owl is impressed by such bold words.
I would like to further study the disease that is making the animals hostile. Maybe it could be cured.
That's big of you. Maybe you should do it.
The magical veterinarian. Owl likes the sound of that.
Oh, chills are still running down my spine.
It certainly was a chilling affair. If I had boots, I'd have quivered in them.
Owl had a hard time running since its feet froze to the ground. Owl is happy to leave this place.
Rodolphus, why are you always picking on me? What have I ever done to you?
Me? Pick on someone? Perish the thought. Perhaps you read too much between the lines.
Owl is confused. There is only blank space between the lines.
I'm travelling with a cat and an owl. Who would have thought?
Rudolphus is half human, half cat, and Owl is a machine.
Full brain, half a brain, and probably no brain. Oh well, we've made it so far.
Owl, can you actually fly?
Owl has climbed the academy roof so many times to try, but it lacks the courage to jump.
Oh, do invite me next time you try. A plunging metal owl would be quite a sight to behold.
No time to waste. The ritual of sealing awaits us.
How about you and the rust bucket create a diversion while I get the Master's seal?
Owl likes the idea, especially now that Owl has so many spells to cause a stir. Owl spies with its very large eye a group of wizards.
Already regretting this.
Should we stick together? The quest will be less perilous if we work side by side.
Cornelius is rich. Masked one is poor. Neither has friends. Owl finds it curious.
You're the embodiment of discretion, as usual. I don't want to talk about this.
I don't mind talking about it. I like solitude.
Owl is in awe. Such tiny pink piglets grown up to be juggernaut boars of doom.
At least one of us is excited.
First the wail of a mantis, and now enraged hogs? What's next? Once we have the parchments, I'm never ever going back to the academy.
Never say never.
Owl has cosy quarters in the academy roof. Owl not leaving any time soon. Owl had no idea the world is so big and wide and entertaining, and full of terrors.
I'm amazed as well. I've never seen scenery like this.
Congratulations for your sheltered lives.
I'm surprised the academy hasn't sent anyone after us.
Owl is convinced the wizards haven't even noticed someone is missing.
They're probably busy with repairing the walls.
Who would have guessed I'm searching for lost spells and fighting off angry monsters?
Not Owl, albeit Owl is very good at guessing.
You would with your brain, built like it is.
Do you think the masters will let us seal these spells to our books?
Owl is not entirely sure any of the masters are willing to assist.
We could try doing it ourselves.
Owl thought to seize the opportunity of collecting the lost spells, but Owl is not alone.
Well, we are all here now, so it makes sense to continue together.
Just as long as we're all on the same page, we keep these parchments.
Owl would like to know more about the home island of Healawitch. Why is it called the Island of Trees?
Alcyon is home to numerous sacred trees.
So, you worship trees? How outlandish. How do you honour your holy trees, Gizlan?
Owl would offer them fat worms and sing hymns of praise about bark.
Curiously, Owl is right. Not about the worms, but we do sing to the trees.
For what purpose were you built, Owl?
Owl doesn't know. Maybe Owl was meant to be a guardian or a servant.
It seems Owl needs to find its own purpose in the world.
Owl is uneasy. What if the Academy instructors are angry and take away these spell books?
Most of these wizards lack the motivation to leave the Academy. I find it unlikely they'll chase us.
Don't worry, Owl. After we have sealed our spell books, there's not much anyone can do to hinder us.
Cornelius, tell Owl, how does one become a noble? Is a castle required for that?
My great-grandfather was made a Lord Crownsteed for his service, and I'll inherit the title someday.
In Alcyon, we consider it preposterous that someone can inherit a title which they haven't earned.
Do you know if anyone has ever graduated from the Astral Academy?
Some of the senior wizards must have, haven't they?
It strikes Owl as odd if none of them had passed the final exams. Some of them are really old.
Oh, we can finally go back.
To complete our spell books.
To bask in the glory of graduation.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Just looking for some parchments.
I would like to join you two, if that's not too much trouble.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the Academy?
I heard some chatter about a lich. That is a kind of undead creature, right?
Uh-huh. They can be quite vengeful.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
The parchments were not the only thing that escaped the Academy. Magical waste leaked out as well.
So the beasts are poisoned.
It is good to be rid of the Academy, but I do miss the free meals.
Great desserts. For those who can afford them anyway.
Oh, the food is as mediocre as the rest of the comforts at the Academy. It's a wonder we pay for them.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Maybe the place is haunted.
Well, it is. But how many ghosts in total is it haunted by?
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Running away.
If this was my father's county, he would have sent knights to protect his subjects.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
Imagine that we might be the first students ever to graduate this swiftly.
Or the first in decades to graduate at all.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
When we learn a new spell, one of the masters has to seal them in our spell books so we can keep them.
I doubt the masters are willing to seal our spells now. But maybe we can work around that.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Owl is about to collect some parchments.
9 parchments to be exact. I say we should consider teaming up.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the Academy?
Owl did hear conversations about a lich. Is it a fruit?
No, it's an undead creature of pure evil.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Something must have happened to them when the parchments got loose.
Owl would blame the magical waste fumes that leaked from the Academy during the explosion.
It is good to be rid of the Academy, but I do miss the free meals.
Owl sees the bright side. The fire wizard is a competent field cook.
The breakfast buns were excellent. And stamping out the grass fire was exciting as well.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Now I understand why my parents were so reluctant to send me there at first.
Owl has no reluctant parents. Actually, Owl has no parents at all.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Maybe some charitable group has taken the fleeing villagers under their wing?
They must have huge feathers. Owl will be able to fit no more than 2 humans under its wings.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
I wonder what will happen to us once we return.
Owl is sure the Grateful Academy will reward this flock. Even cake may be served to heroes.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
It's needed to complete the spell books. Owl and the flock must return to the Academy.
The ritual is usually done once every spring, to seal the spell we have practiced the whole school year.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
If you think we're going to let you run off on your own, you're mistaken.
Owl suggests nobody runs alone anywhere.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the Academy?
I overheard the teachers talking about a lich attack.
Owl has never seen a lich. Maybe we'll go back after this and take a look at it.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Owl wonders if it has something to do with the explosion of the arcane repository.
Of course! The magical waste must have leaked out and driven the creatures crazy.
It is good to be rid of the Academy, but I do miss the free meals.
You can count yourselves lucky. I pack lunch and I'm willing to share.
Carabelle is very resourceful. Owl hopes there is plenty of machine oil for dessert.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Owl has a theory. Crazy attracts crazy, and the Academy is cuckoo.
I guess we can all agree on that.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Owl would climb a tree with a big bag of food and stay very silent.
You do know that some of the monsters can fly?
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
I don't think our success is surprising at all.
Owl is anxious to see if all the topsy-turviness at the Academy has been dealt with.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
We've been over this already. If we want to use these spells from now on, we need to seal our spell books.
Owl and friends need the Master's seal for the ritual.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
I heard a rumour about an attempt to collect the 9 Parchments.
And it seems the rumours are true.
What part of the shrimp family tree did that thing fall out of?
Oh, I hope we won't meet any of its relatives down the road.
Nor any other overgrown villains.
That's it. I'm never baking pork pie again.
I still feel dizzy after avoiding all those charging boars.
Don't be such spoil sports. That was so much fun.
It is good to be rid of the Academy, but I do miss the free meals.
Not every Academy moment was horrible. I used to sneak onto the roof to watch the sunset. It was beautiful.
The Academy isn't bad, it's misguided. I intend to stay there after this and help reform the ways of wizardcraft.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
It is disgraceful how defenceless and unprepared the wizards are after all that has happened at the Academy.
All the dangerous spells and artifacts crammed under one roof. It can't be safe.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
They've left in a hurry with all their belongings. Towns, villages, and even the wilderness huts are empty.
But I could never fit all my possessions in a single backpack.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
What are we going to do with all this magic?
We keep the 9 Parchments. The Academy can take care of the rest.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
We must seal our spell books, or all this has been in vain.
After the ritual is complete, no one can take our 9 Parchments away from us.
Nim, have you ever tried to short-circuit Owl with water spells?
No, but that would make an interesting experiment.
Owl Owl tried to swim in a bird bath once. Owl's body almost corroded.
That large mantis.
I know what you mean. Magnificent creature.
Owl felt connected to giant rainbow sea maggot. It was created with magic as well. Think, Owl, think. If Owl were a parchment, where would Owl hide?
You overthink this adventure too much, dear metallic friend.
We already found some parchment stashes. We'll find more.
Nim, there might be gold and platinum inside the bird's brain. What do you reckon?
Well, first of all, he's probably wrong. Second, too much work to get it out.
Oh, not at all. There's a hinge at the back. But that can be opened later. Owl needs brains for now. Follow Owl. Birds have inner compass.
You're mechanical, not an actual bird.
If you were a real bird, you might make a wonderful snack. To some people.
A few more parchment. And then?
There'll be a great graduation party, and rice will be thrown at the heroes. Or does that only happen at funerals?
Oh, just imagine the lot of us, married, to our spell books. It'll be beautiful. I do love all my new spells. So much potential for amusing chaos.
I love that I'll be able to quit my job when I have all my spells.
And Owl loves the smell of grass after rain.
No one takes any notice of Nim. He's a cleaner. He could sneak anywhere and find the Master's seal.
True.
Owl and Rudolphus can cause a mighty distraction.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
But I have paws with claws. Would you like to see?
We're here for reasons, and we wouldn't mind finding some of those misplaced parchments.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
The wizards put the blame on an old lich.
An undead spectre of the olden times has returned, and apparently she's quite spiteful.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
One of the explosions took out the arcane repository at the academy.
Shouldn't leave those things just lying around.
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
Eating rabid creature meat isn't a great idea either. At least there's the odd fruit.
Now you both got me hungry, and cats don't eat fruit, so I'll just have to eat one of you instead.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Yes, it's truly an enchanted place, a veritable lap of learning.
This quest gives us an opportunity for some hands-on studies, though, so I'm not troubled.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
Safe indoors?
I dislike speculation. We'll save anyone who needs saving, but let's not derail ourselves.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
There's no reason at all for you to worry about our grit, Venerable Elder.
Shush. He'll make us carry him if we make him feel old.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
You've forgotten it again.
It allows us to keep our spells for more than a few days. You've seen it done twice already, you know.
I thought to sneak out and collect the parchments all by myself.
You're hardly the stealthiest creature among us. Too bad the Astral Academy isn't offering any sneaking courses for unruly students. I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded.
Well, to be honest, it's not the first time something's exploded at the academy.
Just a while ago, some dead warlock punched a hole through the vault of the artifacts.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip.
Oh, of course, I hadn't realised.
Don't listen to Carabelle. It's our adventure and our parchments.
Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
It's terrible what it's doing to the wilderness.
Maybe there's some way to wash the wilderness? Like, maybe give it a good scrub?
I doubt anyone at the Academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
How excellent that they're already used to repairing their rickety towers.
With all those handy enchanted brooms and everything, it can't take that long.
Wasn't there an undead sorcerer on the loose out there somewhere?
Do you mean Sarek? His reign of fright originated from the Astral Academy.
But the heroes of the Trine certainly took care of him.
Maybe the unknown student who lives in the cellar vaults caused all this madness.
Is someone really locked in there? I thought it was just a tale to scare the younger students.
Of course it's a tale. It would be inhuman to seal somebody in there.
With all the parchments, we may finally leave the accursed wilderness.
Yes, and go back to our accursed school.
Maybe we, as seasoned soon-to-be wizards, should get used to accursed circumstances.
What have we here? Ghislain and the speech-impedimented rust bucket.
And the owl.
All owls are present and accounted for.
I'm surprised we actually found ourselves new spells.
Ghislain, my dear, we are going to be absolutely showered in them soon.
Owl is excited about this upcoming spell shower. Maybe a new shower cap is needed.
How lucky we are to be adventuring with a verdant witch.
To be honest, I don't know what's so interesting in this for you.
Owl is happy as well. Every flock needs a healer.
What interests me in Ghislain is the exciting potential of combining death magic with her healing powers.
So you like a bit of chaos in your magic?
Owl is afraid it is unstable to combine elements of life and death.
Ah, poor owl. It's so mentally disjointed.
Well, it's not so poor if it's blissfully unaware that it is.
Owl is not poor. Owl has little savings in multiple places. Owl is curious. Where do spell parchments come from in the first place? Do wizards make them?
If I knew that, I'd be making my own spells.
That's a thought. Maybe we should chase it.
Owl has an idea. This flock should continue together after the graduation to explore the world and beyond.
I like that idea. Ghislain, how about it?
I couldn't. I'm required elsewhere. With the last parchments found, our journey soon must come to an end.
How sad. At least we'll have one final exciting adventure when we wing the ritual of sealing.
Owl has a feeling the best is yet to come.
What are you students doing out here?
Good sir, whoever you are. We're from the Academy, looking for lost spells.
Mm-hmm. Did you actually see the Astral Academy library blow up? Were you there?
I think he meant yes.
Well, that was an unusual encounter with hogs. Not one of them carried explosives.
You must have an extraordinary history with pigs, sir.
True. So is anyone actually going to return any of these spells to the Academy, or are we keeping them all?
We intend to complete our spell books, with or without your say-so, Whitebeard.
That's right. I'm feeling pretty bad about killing all these animals. Yes, it's a shame.
I agree, but what else can we do?
The Astral Academy often attracts trouble. Skeletons, ghosts, explosions.
When were there ghosts? Are they still there? I never noticed.
He must mean the spirit of Sarek. Our spell books are almost complete. Now for the 9th parchment.
And the sooner we get it, the sooner I can leave for my home island.
Yes, that's right. And now back to the Academy.
Getting the spell sealed into our books shouldn't be too difficult.
We only need the Master Seal.
I hope you're ready to hunt the parchments. I'm so glad we're doing this together. This is going to be awesome!
Sounds like fun will be had.
A thrilling adventure.
That mantis fight was amazing! let's go find more treasure chests. Or do you want to see my new spell?
I feel like I'm literally melting under the sun.
Same.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome! Those hogs! Oh golly. Hopefully we'll find more spells soon.
I found that pit somewhat disturbing. How did the hogs end up forever running through those hoops?
Some villainous force must have been at work there.
I fear we are going to die from exposure.
Oh, don't worry, we can use fire spells like fireballs to keep warm.
We are going to die from fireballs.
Your spellbook looks so impressive, Nim. Can I touch it? What's the cover made of?
Go ahead, touch it. It's goat.
What part of the poor goat looks like that?
That's goat hide glued over the cover. Never thought of where leather came from.
Celius? Wake up! Are you alright? You seemed a little distant, like you were about to fall asleep in the middle of a step.
I'm here. I haven't slept too well lately.
Are you sure you're not sick, Celius? Your voice sometimes sounds a bit hoarse.
We're very well, thank you for asking.
What's with the royal we?
Well, Nim, he is a prince. Certainly has been a lively quest with the two of you.
On the note of our imminent parting of ways, I'd prefer you didn't tell the wizards I've left the academy.
There's a lot we'd rather not let the wizards know.
I can still tell about this adventures to others, right? Right?
Just try and keep up with me. It'll be a brisk pace.
Come in.
Owl can run very fast. Look, no wings.
Based on wind and explosion velocity and intuition, I say we go this way.
Of course.
Healer Witch has a solid flight plan. Owl will follow gladly.
It's a dangerous journey. Thankfully, I'm here to protect and heal the rest of you.
Yes.
Healer Witch is very soft. Owl thinks she's not a very good shield.
One parchment at a time. Not many to go now before our quest is over and I'll depart.
Yes.
The parchments make Owl so happy, although it hates goodbyes. Owl would like to learn more about humour. Can you tell Owl jokes, please?
I don't know any owl jokes. I'm sorry.
No, neither do I. Gislin?
Yes, Nim?
Owl is worried about Cleaner. So much sweating and shivering and spluttering. Owl is curious. Why is Cleaner blushing and stammering around Healer Witch?
I'm not. I have a mask. There's no blushing at all here.
Owl, what are you raving on about? Nim is always stammering.
Hoo, 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 hoo. Owl has them all! Hurrah!
Yes, very exciting. Now to the academy. We need to get our spellbook sealed.
Yes, of course.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Oh, we're here for those spells. And the adventure, of course.
Our elder friend must come along. Although he may not remember his name, we can throw him at wolves if need be.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
So you do remember the explosion?
Maybe it was our fire wizard all along. No, wait, he was in the same room with us.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Marvik, I hope you don't mean me.
When were you last vaccinated?
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
The astral grub isn't half bad. They even make my food taste like mice.
Our school meals are unimpressive, but dining at Crownstead Manor? That is another matter entirely.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
True. Yeah, I don't feel very safe in school, which is a part of why I'd like to leave for good.
Are you kidding? Little danger and excitement, it builds character.
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
I haven't noticed any towns or villages round here.
Maybe they've been destroyed, or maybe it's because we're in deep backwater country.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
Thank you, Sir Marvek.
Don't call him sir, you'll give him ideas. Next thing you know, he'll be throwing fireballs to make us bow to him.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
Old man, you know all this. Try to keep your brain noodles in one bowl.
Once it's complete, these spells will be ours to keep.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Owl only has a few spells. It needs more.
You may not remember it, but the construct, yourself and I are all searching for the lost parchments.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
Difficult to say, as we were all attending class when it happened, including you.
Owl heard rumours about undead armies, goblins, and even gigantic animals.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Owl had no idea that nature would be this wild.
That's the beauty of nature, but maybe this is too wild.
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
Maybe Healer Witch packed extra lunch. Owl has never attended a picnic.
We may find some edible tree roots. I'm not sure how nutritious your metal body will find them, though.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
I wonder if there are management issues.
Owl is certain there are senility issues.
Owl, you don't melt under the heat of fireballs. What are you made of?
Considering your talents with lightning spells, it must be something that conducts electricity.
No ingredient list was included with Owl. There's only writing on Owl's underside that says, this side up.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
Only the final entry of the spellbook remains empty.
What if Owl would just glue some extra pages for spells in the magic book? Maybe no one would notice.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
You'll remember it when you see it.
Owl is not so sure the masters will help with the ritual.
And here I thought I'd sneak off to find the parchments on my own. You're really not particularly stealthy, are you, Carabelle? I was sure the whole academy would collapse when the library wall exploded. But cast those thoughts aside now. Concentrate on the mission.
Yes. Parchments.
I hope you all understand that recovering the lost spells is our duty, not some pleasure trip. You're not the lord of me, Carabelle. If pleasure is my whim, then pleasure I'll have. Too bad the arcane repository blew up as well.
Poor beasts.
Indeed, let us dwell on sad things that happen that we can't change. I doubt anyone at the academy has even noticed our absence. They're probably still cleaning up the mess.
That reminds me. I should be working on the cleaning too.
No, let's get your parchments first. Then you can go back to cleaning. I never thought I'd see so many spell parchments in my lifetime. Yes, how unimaginative of you. Well done, Carabelle.
Gislen, is arguing here in the wilderness clever?
Only one parchment missing. I must admit it's been a surprisingly lovely adventure. I'll think of you all fondly when I'm in Alcyon.
When you'll leave?
Has anyone completed the ritual of sealing before? I've made notes on it. It shouldn't be too hard to try it once we get the seal off the master.
It would be pointless not to try, after all this.
What on earth are you tenderfeet doing here?
Hunting parchments. Since you'll soon forget what you're doing here, we'd better bring you along.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the academy?
Something hideous and evil. But while the wizards deal with that, let's look after ourselves in the process.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
Some hideous magical accident, I heard.
It is good to be rid of the academy, but I do miss the free meals.
How you can think about food at a time like this is beyond me.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
Really? Maybe this kingdom needs some kind of a magical group of heroes to oversee everyone's safety.
Actually...
Where are all the inhabitants of these lands?
I hope for their sake that they're hiding.
Yes.
Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
You're surprised that a witch of Alcyon can handle herself?
I'm not surprised.
What was this ritual of sealing again?
You know what it is, you just don't remember it.
We return to the Astral Academy to seal our spells in our books.
Ghislaine, dear witch, ready to hunt for our 9 parchments?
Don't be absurd. Why else would we all be here, if not for completing our spell books?
So, any bets? What caused the ascension of evil at the Astral Academy this time?
Probably some warlock or necromancer who delights in causing trouble.
Yes, it could be a necromancer. Who else could have animated a lich?
It's a shame about the corrupt animals, but at least the trees remain intact.
Animated, ghoulish wildflowers. What an idea.
So, Ghislaine likes trees?
Why do we bring along the cleaner again?
He, or are you a she? You're very clever for a cleaner.
Thank you.
Your name is Nin, right?
That's my name.
And I am Rudolphus the Magnificent, and the 3 of us together are the Spell Crusaders.
We're all completing our spell books, right? Not helping wizards.
You'll find no agents of the Academy in this group, I wager.
They're far too overzealous locking away these parchments. The spells belong to the people.
What if the Lich is still at the Academy when we return?
What would the Lich want with the Academy when it could be anywhere it liked?
Let's worry about that when we get back. Ghislaine, are you certain you'll leave after completing your spellbook? Stay around a while.
Yeah, Rodolphus has a point.
Perhaps, if I find the idea amusing enough.
What on earth are you tender feet doing here?
Oh, we talked this over already. We need to find the parchments.
Marvick, you shall assist me and Carabel recovering and taking possession of the Academy's lost spells.
Who was responsible for the thunder and boom back at the Academy?
You didn't hear the screams about a lich appearing out of nowhere?
There was a lich. I mean, of course, there was a lich.
These wild animals have been turned to rabid beasts by some unknown force.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for all of this.
The same wind that blew the parchments here must have brought the toxins from the arcane repository.
What a thrilling encounter that was!
It's always jolly good fun to throw fire at the Frosties.
And such a thrill to throw some healing.
Whenever something goes awry in the kingdom, the Astral Academy always seems to be the origin of the trouble.
It is irresponsible to allow minors to study in a place like that.
Magic draws chaos to itself. It's just the way it is. And even young people are surprisingly resilient. Oh, I keep having déjà vu.
Uh-huh. I know what you mean. It's as if we're encountering the same roads again and again.
You youngsters tire too easily. When I was young, the roads were even longer and all uphill. Keep marching, youngsters. This is going surprisingly well.
Marvik's such a lively senior wizard. I wonder what his secret is.
A fireball a day keeps the healer away?
What was this ritual of sealing again?
Marvik, you know this. We need to return to the academy and complete the ritual.
So far, one of the masters has sealed our spells every year, but now we need to do it by ourselves.
Hello, little mouse.
I'd feel better if you didn't call me that.
Rodolphus, stop concerning yourself with Lord Crownsteed and let's get to it.
Please don't call me Lord Crownsteed, that's my father.
Oh, right. You introduce yourself to us as young Lord Crownsteed.
Maybe we can throw his title at the monsters and see if they're impressed.
I'd be happy to be called Cornelius, amongst friends.
Of course, Mouse.
Enough talk. We have parchments to find.
How wonderful to be on an adventure with Ghislain.
There are some interesting results when our magics come together.
What about me? I have interesting magics too. What's so funny about Lord Crownsteed when you keep calling yourself Ghislain of Alcyon?
It's a far more wondrous thing to be Ghislain of Alcyon.
A verdant witch from the island of sacred trees. Sounds enchanting.
This kingdom is a mess. Hostile animals, explosive academies.
Too true. I miss the quiet of the Crownsteed Manor Library.
What? No. This kingdom is an interesting place, and we love interesting places. Always an adventure nearby. Ghislain, don't leave the kingdom too soon. We could go on an adventure after we recover the parchments.
Oh, an adventure? Oh, can I come too? There won't be any giant sea mantises, though.
I just want the final parchment. I don't care about anything else.
From spell dealing to spell stealing, and finally, spell sealing.
Your amusing rhymes forget that we still need to return to the academy and find the Master's seal.
Oh, I have a feeling that's not going to be easy.
Cornelius, try and make yourself useful. Nim, enunciate more.
But I am useful, I really am. I could have done this on my own, you know.
Cornelius the Distressed. I'm sure you could have.
My family is going to be so proud of me in my completed spellbook.
Ah, an adventure to satisfy someone else's pride. How petty.
Indeed.
So, what is the holy cause of Ghislain of Alcyon? What does she need the parchments for?
One of our sacred trees decreed I must gather them. It didn't specify how I should go about it.
But Ghislain, how are your motives of doing this any better than mine?
Mine are to serve. Yours are to satisfy your family's bloated aristocratic ego. We haven't perished so far, which is more than I dared to hope for.
And your weird tree people will be so satisfied when we secure the last parchment.
Maybe we should talk about the weather. We'll be done soon.
It's been interesting.
Yes, and what nice weather we've had.
What if the masters won't help us with the ritual of sealing?
We'll work it out.
By the groves of Alcyon, we will. Cornelius, who is this stranger in your company?
What? I thought he was with you.
I'm also a student. I'm looking for the spell parchments, just like you.
Then I suppose you could come along with us. I've heard them say more's the merrier, apparently. So you're both nobility? Again, the laws of this land astound me. 2 pasty-faced teenagers might have power and authority as soon as their parents drop dead.
Then rest easy. I may be written out the will before the year is over.
My grandmother threatens all the time to leave me out of her will. Mum says she's trying to motivate me.
What is school like?
You didn't go to school before coming to the Astral Academy?
Our castle is far off. We had a tutor.
I was homeschooled as well. My parents didn't want me to interact with the local kids.
I learned reading and writing and all the names of the plants of Alcyon in a tree school.
Was it called a tree school because it was held in a tree?
No, it was held by a tree. It spoke to us very slowly. Class could be a little tedious sometimes.
Fascinating.
Our classes are dull. I think Professor Butternut, the shouty one, hates us. All of us. Even Carabelle.
I have this feeling that he wants us to learn everything the hardest possible way. He never tells us when we do anything right, but he lets us know instantly when we do something wrong.
Perhaps I'm not missing anything after all.
Who teaches you, if not Professor Butternut?
Right now I'm being tutored by Wilhelmina Longhallow.
I thought she was an important bureaucrat or something like that.
She's also a master wizardess.
So, what's your favourite academy subject, Elias?
I like meditations, although they can be frustratingly difficult. Astral thaumaturgy is fun too.
You have a meditation class. Oh, I'd love to try that.
I'm having a hard time imagining Professor Butternut teaching meditation classes.
We've got all our spells now. At last we can complete our spell books.
I plan on leaving as soon as we've completed our quest. I hope you won't tell the wizards that I'm gone.
The wizards tell us next to nothing. Why should we tell them anything?
Don't worry, we'll keep your secret.
With heavy sighs and sunken hearts, under the stern and scrutinizing stare of the Master Wizard, the lost parchments were returned. Even so, it felt good to look back and remember how glorious it had been, even if briefly, to be a wizard with all the 9 parchments.